To be grateful that he's still alive. There are some parents who don't have a son in the world anymore, and I still have my son.
A young man says his life changed forever after a fraternity hazing ritual. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from family members of former SDSU student Benjamin Brennan. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Jesse Pagan. We first told you about his lawsuit against Kappa Sigma earlier this month. His sister and mother talked with me about life over the past 2 years and their message to other families.
So many of my memories with him are just playing together, laughing together.
From her home in Pennsylvania, Caitlin Brennan gushes about her little brother Ben.
He's my favorite person, and he always has been.
But she says that person Benjamin Brennan isn't the one he is now.
It really feels like we have been mourning the Ben I just described and trying to get to know and understand this new Ben as a consequence of what happened to him.
As a freshman 2 years ago, Ben rushed Kappa Sigma at San Diego State University. In this 28-page lawsuit, Ben and his lawyers detail how they say fraternity brothers hazed him.
They had a strong control, indoctrination, if you will, and they called him and said, "Get over here now."
Once there, the lawsuit claims frat brothers took Ben and other pledges' keys and phones, then forced them to drink. For Ben, it was a bottle of hard liquor within 30 minutes while making him smoke tobacco and marijuana and exercise in an effort to get him and other pledges as drunk as possible. Lawyers say that's when Ben passed out and frat brothers started paddling him. An hour and a half later, they took him to the hospital.
They didn't tell him who he was. We found him. That's what they said. We found him. He had an ID in his pocket, so the hospital found out who he was.
France says Ben's blood alcohol content was 0.489, a deadly level 6 times the legal driving limit. Doctors put Ben on life support, and he fell into a coma with a 1% chance of survival. France says Ben now suffers from severe PTSD, anxiety, and cognitive impairment.
It's just really sad because he's such a different person.
Ben's mom, Lindsay Gibson, also talked with us.
What do you miss most about him, if you're willing to share that?
I think it's watching him struggle. I mean, personally, I miss who he used to be, but to watch your child struggle, I think it's a sense of helplessness.
SDSU suspended Kappa Sigma in 2020 and expelled the chapter in 2022, making it an unrecognized student organization. Despite this, France says the chapter stayed open and recruited under its national umbrella. Ben knew about the suspension, he knew about the status of Kappa Sigma. Why continue to pursue, pledge a position in Kappa Sigma knowing at least some of the trouble that it was involved in?
My understanding, he knew, but he never thought they were dangerous.
In a statement, Kappa Sigma's national executive director says they're aware of the lawsuit and will review it closely, adding, quote, "What happened to Benjamin Brennan is unacceptable under any circumstances, and the Kappa Sigma fraternity has taken action against the individuals who were involved. As an organization, we continue to adamantly oppose hazing, the misuse of alcohol, and placing the health and safety of any person at risk."
Sorry.
As almost any mother would, Lindsay has run the gamut of emotions from disbelief to gratitude.
And I'm also angry because it was so senseless. It didn't have to happen. It shouldn't happen to anyone.
That anger now fuels what's become Lindsay and Caitlin's mission to protect others.
I'd say it's really important to sit down and have a serious discussion about different social organizations, you know, whether it's athletics or clubs. I hope they show their son the pictures of my son on life support, and that's a real person. That is my son that happened to, and maybe that will make them reconsider or at least understand that there is a risk involved.
Ben now lives in San Luis Obispo. He isn't talking with reporters. His lawyers say he is functional, but severe PTSD, anxiety, depression, and cognitive impairment make it hard for him day to day. They say he's tried but can't work or continue school. SDSU is not a defendant in Ben's lawsuit, and a spokesperson tells us they have no comment. This lawsuit is civil. As of tonight, the district attorney's office tells me they are not handling this case.
As far as the family and attorney goes in this, are they concerned about the entire Greek system here, or do they think this was just a problem with one specific fraternity on one specific campus?
So the lawyer, James France, I asked him a bit about that. He mentioned, I am handling different cases with different Greek organizations related to these kinds of issues, but he does say, quote, this is a bad egg here, and they want to make a point of that. He did say, I was Greek when he went to college, and he said that they worked on philanthropy. They would have never thought about doing something like this or being involved in something like this. So they do want to point that out, and the family also does want to make sure that it doesn't happen in Greek life anywhere else.
Look forward to hearing the results of this. All right, thanks, Jesse.